Astronauts are not like us. They're trained to stay calm when everything goes wrong. They've spent years preparing for the worst. But even astronauts get scared. And right now, the astronauts assigned to Artemis missions, the ones who will ride Starship to the moon, are having conversations they never expected to have. Conversations about fear, about doubt, about whether they'll come home. Today, for the first time, we're going inside those conversations. Let's call him Commander. He's a NASA astronaut with 20 years of experience, 2 space shuttle missions, 1 ISS expedition. He's been in space longer than almost anyone alive. He's also assigned to Artemis 3, the first mission to land humans on the moon since 1972, and that mission will use Starship. We spoke to him. He asked us to hide his identity. Here's what he said. "I trust SpaceX with my life. I really do. But Starship is different. It's not just a rocket, it's a prototype. Every launch is a test. Every landing is an experiment. And I'm supposed to ride that?" My wife asked me, "Are you sure this is safe?" I couldn't answer her, because I don't know. Nobody knows. The commander told us about a meeting he attended in 2024, a closed-door briefing with SpaceX engineers. No media, no cameras, just astronauts and the people building their ride. I asked them, "What's your confidence level in the life support system?" Silence. I asked, "What's the backup plan if the in-orbit refueling fails?" More silence. I asked, "Have you actually tested the heat shield at re-entry speeds?" They said, "We're working on it." Working on it. I'm supposed to risk my life on working on it. Let me explain what in-orbit refueling means. Think of it like this. You want to drive from Mumbai to Delhi, but your car has a small fuel tank. So you stop at NASA to refuel. Starship will do the same thing. It's going to the moon or Mars, but its tanks aren't big enough. So SpaceX will launch multiple rockets, to 10 to 15 of them, each carrying fuel. They'll dock in space and transfer fuel to Starship. This is so difficult that NASA has been trying for 50 years. No one has ever done it successfully. And if it fails, astronauts will be stranded in space. No way home. The in-orbit refueling problem is one of the biggest. Starship needs to be refueled in space before going to the moon or Mars. That means multiple launches. Tanker flights that dock with Starship and transfer fuel. It's never been done before. Not at this scale. Not with cryogenic methane that boils at -162 degrees Celsius. Not in microgravity, where fluids do strange things. NASA has studied this for decades. Their conclusion is that it's possible, but it's also one of the hardest things humans have ever attempted. And if it fails, the astronauts are stranded. No way home. Astronauts train for years, but their families train too. They learn to live with the fear. They learn to smile at press conferences. They learn to say goodbye. We spoke to the wife of another Artemis astronaut. Let's call her Sarah, not her real name. The night before a launch, we have a tradition. We all sit together, me, the kids, him, and we talk. Not about the mission, not about the risks, about normal things. School, sports, what we'll do when he comes back. But after that meeting with SpaceX, he came home different. He was quiet. He didn't want to talk. Finally, he said, "This one feels different." I asked him what he meant. He said, "With the shuttle, we knew it was dangerous. But we knew NASA had tested everything 100 times. With Starship, they're testing it on us." That night I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking, what if he doesn't come back? How do I explain that Daddy died because someone was in a hurry? That astronaut is still scheduled for Artemis 3. He hasn't told his wife, but he's written a letter. Just in case. It's in there safe. He doesn't know if she's found it. We asked Sarah if she'd read it. She said no. "I can't," she said. "If I read it, it becomes real." Engineers at SpaceX are working 80-hour weeks. They're brilliant. They're dedicated. They believe in the mission. But there are problems they can't solve. Not yet. Maybe not ever. Let's look at 3 of them. Problem 1. Radiation. Let me explain what radiation is. Imagine tiny bullets flying through space. They're invisible. They travel at nearly the speed of light, and when they hit your body, they damage your cells. On Earth, our atmosphere protects us. It's like a shield. But in space, there's no shield. The journey to Mars takes 9 months. Every 5 days, an astronaut receives radiation equal to a full-body CT scan. NASA's studies show that an astronaut on a Mars mission has a 5% chance of dying from cancer caused by radiation. That's just from the journey. Before they even land, SpaceX says Starship's walls will protect them, but the numbers don't add up. To block cosmic rays, the walls would need to be 2 meters thick. Starship's walls are 4 millimeters thin. NASA's studies show that a Mars astronaut has a 5% chance of dying from cancer caused by radiation. That's 5% just from the trip, before they even land. SpaceX says Starship's walls will provide protection, but the numbers don't add up. The walls would need to be 2 meters thick to block cosmic rays. Starship's walls are 4 millimeters thick. Problem 2. Psychological isolation. Imagine this. You and 3 family members get into a bus. The doors close. No windows, no fresh air, no privacy, and you can't go home for 3 years. That's a Mars mission. 9 months going, 1.5 years on Mars, 9 months coming back, 3 years in a metal box. NASA has studied isolation extensively. The results are disturbing. People become irritable. They stop talking. They develop paranoia. Some have psychotic episodes. If someone breaks down mentally, there's no hospital, no rescue, just space. On a 3-year round trip, the strain could be unbearable. And if someone snaps, there's no escape. Just the void. Problem 3. The heat shield. When a rocket returns from space, it hits the atmosphere at 27,000 kilometers per hour. At that speed, friction creates temperatures of 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit. To survive, Starship uses ceramic tiles just like the space shuttle did, but Starship's tiles keep falling off. During launches, during tests, even during transport. The problem is the adhesive. At 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit, most glues turn to liquid. SpaceX has tried 17 different adhesives, but none work perfectly. If just one tile falls off during re-entry, the underlying metal will melt. If the metal melts, a hole burns through the spacecraft. Columbia burned up because of a hole in its wing, and 7 astronauts died. Starship has the same vulnerability, and they still haven't fixed it. The astronauts are scared. The families are scared. The engineers are scared. But the launches continue. The schedule gets tighter, and the questions remain unanswered. If you feel empathy for these astronauts and their families, remember this. The truth should reach everyone from the expert to the farmer. Subscribe to Mystery Doom, because the truth is for everyone. Coming up in part 5, the final question, is Elon Musk a visionary pushing humanity forward, or a dangerous man willing to sacrifice lives for his ego? We'll look at the evidence. We'll hear from those who knew him, and we'll leave you with one thought that will haunt you long after this documentary ends. You're watching Mystery Doom.